Obviously, they're interfering with my video, my voice and image. Anyway, with that being said, there isn't one black race. There are many black races, and I'm the last of the King of Kings race. Okay? Now let's look at the Bible, and I'm sure you'll understand real quickly why I'm right. First of all, again, who, what, when, where, how, why. Where? We look at one of the forms of Horus. It's called Har, where. The hero, where? Where is the hero? Why is he there? Who, what, when, where, how, why? So first we have West Africa, Nigeria, over here. We have, over here somewhere, we have Ethiopia and Somalia and so on and so forth, and Sudan right below Egypt. The trade route, right? It's a pretty quick route that way. We have people over here in East Africa that are more like West Africans. For example, me in America, I'm part Nigerian, part white. Most Americans are white, right? I'm part white, but I'm more like the Nigerians than I am like the white man. Who, what, when, where, how, why? Okay, why? Because I'm from the top warrior race, and I'm the top warrior and top martial artist that ever lived. Hebrew is an Afro-Asiatic language. Who, what, when, where, how, why? It's an Afro-Asiatic language. Why? Because Africans migrated through the Middle East. Cush, right? Noah begot Ham, Ham begot Cush, Cush begot Nimrod. Nimrod founded Babylon when Babylon was the Great. Babylon the Great was founded by Nimrod. When it became a great evil is when Nimrod was gone. Okay, so his root, his offspring that went astray, that lived over there, okay, went astray. Now, Nimrod is said to be a mighty hunter before the Lord. In reality, Nimrod represents an idea of a certain type of person, okay, the top martial artist. Okay, it's kind of like where Michael Jordan is similar to Reggie Miller or something. Okay, they're not exactly the same, they're similar. If you saw Reggie Miller and you didn't see Michael Jordan, you would think that Reggie Miller is the top on the planet at basketball or something, right? You think, or anyone else who's better than him, you think he's the best during his time. You see what I'm saying? So, what made the Jews feel empowered? It was African spirituality. It wasn't Western wealth. It wasn't Middle Eastern wealth. It wasn't Egyptian wealth. We'll get to that. When Jesus said, I'm the root and offspring of David, why didn't he say Jesse? Why didn't he say Moses? Why didn't he say Abraham? Why didn't he say Solomon? What's the difference between David and Solomon? Solomon was wealthy. Solomon was said to be wise. Solomon fell off and died in disgrace. David conquered Goliath. He was a great warrior. Solomon was not anywhere near the warrior and the warrior mind in the story that David was. So warrior might is elevated above wealth. It's elevated above what kind of women you have. Solomon has like 1,000 women, 700 concubines, 300 wives, or something like this. Okay, 1,000 women. Did that make him greater than David? No. Building those temples make him greater than David? No. Having Hiram Rabith at his side? No. David was greater than Solomon. And Jesus said, I'm the root and the offspring of David. Now, when we look at African people that took over the Middle East before they had armor, naturally greater. David refused armor, which showed that he sided with the African martial art debate over armor and wealth used by the Assyrians, the Persians, the Babylonians, eventually the English, right? They used technology, armor, guns, what have you, whatever they had at their disposal over natural martial art prowess versus a slingshot, which has a stone. Now, if somebody used a slingshot against me in single combat, I'm going to dodge it, I'm going to block it, whatever. I'm going to get up close and I'm going to kill him. It's that quick, that simple. It would not have worked on me. A greater warrior than David I am. It's important to know. It took a fool to come in there like a tank and move slowly and stupid and not use his head to be defeated by somebody using his head more. So wisdom was part of what allowed David to triumph. And when we look at his arguments in 1st and 2nd Samuel, okay, we see that David is making wise arguments. He's reaching out to the Lord. He's not relying on science, propaganda, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, or theater arts. Okay? So in the Afro-Asiatic mix, is it the Arab or the European or the Near Asian or the Far Asian? Is it anybody else that is giving them this kind of divine spiritual might but the African, the source of the moral force? Are they arguing these days sacred morality, universal pinpoint and moral precision, and focused moral intensity, or am I? So what is the root of the moral, spiritual, and natural and moral wisdom might of David? And what matters? See, a lot of these other races, they think that they're more attractive than black people. I don't care if they are or not, but that's their argument. Beauty is fleeting, the Bible says. A wife of noble character who can find. Moral, a wife of morality, of moral worth who can find. Not of Western hypocrisy, not of Eastern hypocrisy, not of token minority hypocrisy. The root of the token minority is the hypocrisy of the neo-colonialist. If you don't know that, you're an idiot. Would you argue that the root of Judas is the true root of Jesus? The root of treachery? The root of betrayal? No more can you argue that there's Western cultural supremacy. There isn't. The moral supremacy of the African, the one who is moral, because Africans are very diverse, is superior to the African root of Western treachery. And I'm half black, half white. I'm not racist. This is just the facts. The root of King George in Africa is a pompous African who was a devil. You see what I'm saying? The root of the people who took the root, the R-O-O-T, is connected to the R-O-U-T-E. The root of the African who was righteous, who was able to be wise, able to be mighty, able to be righteous, is in me. You people took the token minority route. You took the mediocre African bushman route, with all due respect. You took the white supremacy route. You took the Israeli Zionist route. You did not take the true Zion as spiritual, moral, and mental, and romantic, and so on might. You took the route of worldliness, the worldly label of Zionism, the mistreatment of the Palestinians. Do I mistreat the Palestinians? Or do I judge them with truth? A king who judges the poor with fairness will enjoy a long reign. And when you do it with universal pinpoint and moral precision, following God, you'll reign forever. So when we look at a female scale, the same scale we use on them, say they want equality, you want equity, you want justice, you want a fair shake, a fair scale. The Proverbs says more than one place that the Lord detests dishonest scales. So if a wife of noble character is worth far more than rubies, what about the most righteous person that ever lived? If beauty is fleeting, if it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to go into heaven, why do you value wealth more than the righteousness that God put in me, which is God in me? Fucking retarded. If you have 3 PhDs, does it matter when you don't know 1 + 1 = 2 in arithmetic? And it's of the utmost importance for you to understand that? No more does your PhDs and your social positioning and your government positioning and who your network mean that you're better than me. I'm greater than everyone else. Why? Because I have the characteristics of God. Not King fucking George. Not Jennifer Lopez. Not Nicki Minaj. Not some new age guru. I have the characteristics of God. The spirit of righteousness in truth. Moral justice, morally precise justice and truth, the spirit of truth, the moral warrior spirit, the spirit of might, moral maturity. How can you people sit there following the devil and pretend that the characteristics of God in this particular type of African that I'm the last one of and the greatest of, the greatest of all of them, and the last one possible ever, the first and the last? How can you pretend that your characteristics are superior? That your scale is greater than choosing someone like me? It's retarded. Life is short, and your scale is that of an animal, a beast. And betas is beast scrambled. And also brute beasts are beasts. If you don't know, then I'm right. You're a fucking idiot. And it's sad that I have to say it this way too, but using your own social norms. I'm the namesake of a refugee who worked his way up to be a brain surgeon in one of the most racist countries in history. Look at the way black people are treated in this country historically. Look at the prison population. Look at how immigrants are treated. Worked his way up from being a refugee that's homeless to being a brain surgeon. From being royalty from a martial art line in Africa to working his way up to being royalty in his own right here in America. The fuck are you silver spoon in your mouth types? How can you put your noses up at me? How can you say that you know better than me? Are you a brain surgeon's namesake and the top martial artist, or am I? Do I leverage privilege unfairly in a short life, or do you? Are you loyal to God, or am I? Are you playing stupid about these critical truths? Okay? Yes, and I'm not. How the fuck you people think you're smart enough to not be required to obey God through me? That's sick.